Mississippi. One of the things we wanted to talk about with him on Wednesday actually it was Tuesday of this week, there was a hearing that was held in Jackson centering on the concerns of utility customers in DeSoto County, parts of DeSoto County, not pleased with their service. Not pleased with their service coinciding with dramatic rate increases. They were not pleased with the utility that recently bought their service. That utility, Great River Utilities, based in Dallas, Texas. Service area includes parts of DeSoto County. Public comments were taken on Tuesday, and there's an evidentiary hearing that was yesterday. And at issue, this is a quote from Richard Stone from DeSoto County's Board of Supervisors speaking to the Public Service Commission. Customers were used to paying anywhere from $17 to $26 a month. Great River bought the system out and started sending them bills that increased to $69 to $72 a month. Residents are telling me that in the wintertime, when the kudzu dies off, you can see lines that are exposed. Some may be broken. Some may not be making it to the lagoon, if any of it is making it to the lagoon. And there is an interest in meeting with representatives from Great River to see how the system works and why the rate increases have happened. Wayne Carr is Southern District Public Service Commissioner, and he joins us on the Gallo Radio Show this morning. And Wayne, we always appreciate your time, Mr. Commissioner, and kind of interested to hear what you learned in these Great River Utilities hearings that have happened in Jackson over the last couple of days.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Thank you for having me. I'm sorry it's taking so late. I know we've been trying for a couple of weeks to have this conversation. I appreciate you having me this morning.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your time. I mean, this is obviously something that is of concern to some of the residents in DeSoto County, and part of what the PSC does is make sure that utilities are operating the way they're supposed to and fairly. What did you learn in the last couple of days at these hearings?
Well, it's not just in DeSoto County, sir. It's
okay.
It's in multiple counties in our district down here in the south. Jackson County, Harrison County, Adams County. Great River came last year, somewhere time in about May, and started acquiring the systems in the Southern District. They have acquired 20 facilities thus far, and the citizens are, from our office, and the complaints and the concerns they get are not just about the rates, it's about what they're getting and what they're paying for. They feel like they're not, the rates are not just because of the tremendous increase. Some of them has increased, 200 to 400%, and they're very concerned about it. And we had lots of comments in our hearing on Tuesday, and I have been to Adams County in Natchez area, and those folks are just up in arms. And the same in Jackson County and Gulf Park Estates and Ocean Beach Estates. The quality of water versus what they're paying for are not equaling out, and they are up in arms about it. And I understand that Great River is doing everything they can, but the citizens are very concerned about the rates and the increases.
Yeah. What all services are being provided? Is this just water and sewer, or is it more than that?
No, sir. It's just water and sewer.
Okay.
Some of them have just furnished water. Great River's furnished some customers just water, and some they furnish just sewer, and then there's a combine of both. So when you take some of them that are combined with both, the water bill is $107.99. So you might as well say $108. Okay. And they think that's just outrageous, to be honest with you. I mean, I got back in the office this morning, and I get a letter from a lady in the Wool Market area that is, which is north of Biloxi, and she's very concerned about it. And we get these letters and these comments and complaints all the time. I mean, constantly. It's been ramping up since we have come into office. These rates were, the initial rate plan was in 2022, and then in 2023, the rates were supposed to be implemented, and they did not implement the rates. They mitigated the rates down, and that downward pressure created that in 2024, when the commissioners and I took office, those rates were spring-loaded forward. So what was compressed in 2023 was now taking effect. And here we are, and the commissioners and I are trying our best to figure our way out of how to, take some of this pressure off. And it's very complicated because of the structure of the FRP and the rates. And it's very difficult. And we're trying to work with Great River, and we're trying to negotiate through this. And I understand that they are a business, and this was implemented under, not under our control. This is not us. We didn't vote for this. Matter of fact, yesterday we took it under advisement, and before we could do some more research on it.
Visiting with Commissioner Wayne Carr, represents the Southern District for the Mississippi Public Service Commission. What authority does the PSC have when it comes to rates that are put in place by private companies?
Well, from my understanding, that the rates that are put in place now, there's not much we can do about it because they set up their business model, and like I say, the utility staff and everybody went through all the numbers, and they approved this, and the commissioners of the previous commissioners approved it. And so now we have to see what we can do, and I don't. The Attorney General's office was in there, as an intervener and an advocate for the citizens, and so I'm thankful that they came to the table to help the citizens in trying to get this all worked out.
So, as Great River has bought into these are they buying water associations that are choosing to get out? Are they buying small utility companies? What is it that they are purchasing when they are putting themselves in a position to be the delivery company?
They are buying small private owner utilities.
Okay.
And in some that they're buying are they're in terrible shape. I will admit to that. Pictures are evident that, but my question is, how and why do these systems that they're buying that are in such bad shape, how did they get to this? Who dropped the ball? Who wasn't on top of this? And that's what we're trying to dig through is, how did our system fail us? How did government fail us? And not holding people accountable to making sure their wastewater is being treated properly, their water is being, looked over and being tested. How did this happen? That's the question that we have. How did all this happen? And that's the question we get from our citizens. How did this happen? Now, some of the systems that they have bought were not in bad shape. Mm-hmm. The owners of those facilities are up in age, and so the opportunity came for them to, receive benefits for their hard work and putting all of the system into place. And, they didn't have a buyer, and Great River offered them a just price, and so they sold, and Great River bought. And, I don't fault Great River for that. I'm trying to get a fair rate for our citizens.
Sure.
And it's very difficult to weave through this map that we're on, this course that we're on.
How big a business?
I'm very frustrated about it, sir.
How big a business is this? Not Great River Utilities specifically, but this idea of a company going in and buying up smaller associations, smaller utilities, and providing that. I'm assuming this is a business that is booming all over the country?
Yes, sir. Great River they're in multiple states, Louisiana, Texas, I think they have 100, if I remember some of the numbers that I've seen yesterday, they have 160,000 customers in multiple states.
Okay.
And they have the same business model where they go in and buy systems or buy operators that are up in age and wanting to get out. So they have a model that they work underneath. As everybody has talked about in the last 3 or 4 years, and especially President-elect Trump, our infrastructure is terrible. Our roads and bridges are terrible. And we have to get behind this and get a plan as far as, our country. It's not just in Mississippi. It's all over our country.
Sure. Commissioner Carr, I like 2 more questions. Can you hang through the break, and we'll come back and talk a little bit more about this on the other side?
Yes, sir.
All right. Wayne Carr, Commissioner of Southern District, Mississippi Public Service Commission. Quick timeout. We'll ask this. Where do we go from here moving forward? Sounds like search for answers is on. This is the Gallo Radio Show on SuperTalk, Mississippi. We're back right after this. Wrapping up the 7 o'clock hour with you. Leah Long will join us to start the 8 o'clock hour. We'll talk small business and shopping local with her. That's coming up about 15 minutes from right now. But we are wrapping up our conversation with Wayne Carr, Southern District Public Service Commissioner here in the Magnolia State. So I was thinking during the break, Commissioner Carr, this is like a 2-pronged deal, or at least it sounds like it to me. And you correct me if I'm wrong on this. It's rates have gone up, and service has either stayed the same or gotten worse. Nobody wants their rates to go up, but at least if you can point to infrastructure that's better water quality, better sewage service, you can justify why those rates went up. Is that the biggest frustration for customers, is that not only are their rates higher than they were, you said by maybe as much as 200%, but also the service has not gotten any better?
That's correct.
Okay.
That is correct, sir.
It's like you can live with a higher bill if you're getting more for your money, but if you're not getting any more for your money, it's like, what are we doing here?
Correct. So what they're doing, their plan is to buy, when you have a formal rate plan, so you have a system that is in default or distress, and they buy it. So, and then they buy another system downstream that's in great shape that has very little issues or no issues. So they're taking this money and moving it to the distress system to update their facilities.
Okay.
And so everybody, and the way this rate structure is, it's everybody pays throughout the state. I understand that concept, but I don't think it's fair for people that have no problems to help pay for a system in another their neighbor upstream. I get their model. I understand it, but my question falls back to who let us down. And as one lady in the Northern District, Commissioner Brown, told me, who let this happen? And that's the question. Who let this happen, and why did it happen? Why didn't we see this coming, not just in the last 4 years, but the last 8 years? This just didn't happen overnight. So this whole system that they have in place is not working. So there's got to be some readjustments.
So do you think the deterioration of these systems are nefarious, or do you think it's just neglect?
I would say it may be a combination of both, sir.
Mm. So recourse going forward. Your focus, as you have said multiple times, is on the citizens of Mississippi, making sure that they are paying a fair amount for the product that they are receiving. So how does the PSC office see to it that happens as you continue to investigate?
I think it's going to be a community effort. Or a state effort. I think that the legislators is got to get involved. We all have to come to the table and get this figured out. I think it's going to have to be a joint effort. So, sir, I would like to interject here one lady's comments in Natchez. Elderly lady, retired on a fixed income, and she had it written down on a little legal pad where her bill started in 2023. They was like $50, 23. And then now, when we was in Natchez a couple months ago, her bill was $107.99, and she can't justify that. and it's on a flat rate. So it doesn't matter how much water she uses or doesn't use.
Oh, wow.
Her bill is the same amount, and that's not fair. I'm sorry. That's just not fair.
Is it common, Mr. Commissioner, to have these fixed rates on water bills? I mean, I know where I live, and I've got city municipal utilities, but I'm charged for consumption. You know, there may be a flat rate, like a minimum rate, but beyond that, it's the amount that I use is what I pay for. Is the flat fee, is that a regular thing?
In multiple systems, yes. And some systems, no. They get to control it by how much they, consume. You can control your power bill by cutting lights off or turning your thermostat up or down or your gas. But in some instances in water, you're being charged a flat rate. So, and some of these systems didn't have meters. They were just charged a flat rate. But now, since Great River's taken over, in these systems that didn't have meters, they're charged this flat rate. In that particular instant, we had one of the system operators that owned that system in Natchez. He was there, and he and his wife went out and read all the meters. And so Great River's saying that the meters are not functional, and he gave comments in our hearing that they were functional because he and his wife read the meters. So who are we supposed to believe? We have two different sides of the story. He was there, and he said, if I'd have known this was going to happen, I would not have sold to Great River. That was his direct words.
Wow. And
the same thing happened in the Wool Market area. One of the system operators there that owned Wool Market, Superior, he said the exact same thing. If they'd have known the rates were going to go up like this, they would not have sold.
We're going to keep an eye on this story, Commissioner Carr. Thanks for joining us and bringing us up to speed with where the Public Service Commission office is on it right now.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the invitation. I appreciate it. Merry Christmas, everyone.
To you as well.